Localizers have been freaking out over the past year because they're slowly but surely being replaced by AI. And instead of running to their aid and trying to defend them, people have not cared. People have said, good, we're glad that AI is replacing you. And now they're furious over Japanese publisher Shogakukan's decision to use AI translations for light novels. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, you get what you freaking deserve is basically the gist of the discussions when we have to highlight what localizers are doing or saying, because they are some genuinely terrible people. They are activists who are willing to throw away good storytelling and accurate translations in order to push their own political agendas. They do not care about what fans want or even respecting the companies they work for. They simply care about using their platform for whatever activism they want, and now they are furious over Japanese publisher Shogakukan's decision to use AI translations for light novels. Now, I did talk about this in a previous video. It will be linked down below, but to sum it all up, an upcoming light novel reading app from this Japanese publisher will be using AI technology to localize its featured works for English-speaking audiences. It says, as detailed by a Japanese financial outlet, the app named Novelist will allow users to freely access an ever-growing selection of the publisher's various light novel offerings, including Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist, Gonna Be the Twin Tale, and Freeren Beyond Journey's End prequel novel. Freeren the novel prelude, which, by the way, Freeren's fantastic, definitely check it out. But in terms of the app's user interface, the light novels will be available on it and will be presented in a continuous vertical scrolling style rather than a typical distinctly separated by page horizontal format, which is something people have been asking for from apps like this. So it seems like they're trying to listen to us. But now a large number of English language localizers are unhappy with this Japanese publisher's decision to use AI translation technology, and all I can really say is boo-hoo, cry me a river, and float upstream, because I always want real human beings to be doing as much work as possible, high quality work, but these individuals have proven time and time again that they cannot be trusted to do high quality work. They cannot help themselves, and they constantly shove their own narratives or a message that they feel strongly about into their work. And of course, when it's your job to do localization, the companies trust you. They trust you to do the best job to your ability, and then they release things, but now they're realizing, oh wow, we are definitely receiving a lot more backlash than we would have if we went down an AI route. Of course, a lot of companies right now are going through big layoffs and they're trying to save money. So a part of this is them trying to cut costs wherever possible, but it's no shock to see that they're trying to cut costs when it comes to localizers. These people are the instruments of their own destruction. They're hired to do a job, then they do a very poor job, and the companies pump out the product, and then they see all of the backlash and they realize we made a mistake. Now, of course, they're not going to respond to any of the backlash, but clearly they understand that it's happening, and they've seen it happen for years at this point. The past year to year and a half, it's gotten really bad, but this has been happening for a very long time at this point, and they're seeing more people speak up when they're upset. They're seeing more backlash, and they're trying to find ways to not only cut costs, but cut the amount of controversies that they're part of, and this is definitely a way. Now, to this end, instead of responding to the impending AI threat by improving the quality of their localizations, a large number of Western-based Japanese to English localizers, many of whom have themselves boasted about having deliberately inserted their own politics and memes into the works they were responsible for, instead focused their energy on raging against Shogakukan's decision to replace them with AI. If my job was being replaced by AI, I would be talking about that, not going, you guys are so mean over at this company. We do good work and you just don't respect human beings. I would be doing my best to fight against the AI. And I'm someone who generally does not like AI, but I can't really say I feel that bad for these people. Now, when it comes to AI, yes, all right, it is definitely not perfect. I'm not sitting here saying that it's even close to that because its code can be manipulated and it can pump out extremely woke content that is just as bad as what these localizers are already doing. But at this point, I can't really see it getting any worse. We have them adding in mansplaining comments and dialogue like Big Brother. They highlight the importance of consent. They will put in small or even sometimes large political jabs, which isn't the type of content people want to consume. So AI really can't be that much worse. Now, to no surprise, the notorious localizer Katrina Translator, who most recently and deliberately botched Sentai Filmworks' English localization of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, also joined in, asserting, well, at least they were honest. They only care about cutting costs, not about getting readers good translations. Hey, to me, they do want to get readers good translations, or at least better than the bullshit these people are churning out. Yeah, I would love if they just hired people who are genuinely passionate about the content and are not worried about shoving, their political opinions into pieces of content. But at this point, AI cannot be much worse than the localizers are. Do you think the authors of the light novels would want their international fans reading garbled versions of the prose they work so hard on? How disrespectful. Do you think the authors of the light novels would want their fans to be reading a completely botched version of their work because you've put in cringeworthy Western references? Absolutely not. None of these situations are freaking good. Nobody wants, botched translations that have narratives or, of course, cringy references shoved into it. And yeah, again, I would love to support real human beings, but the human beings that have these localizing jobs clearly do not respect the material or the fans, and so I can't really say I want them around anymore. You've also got someone like Greg Deng, who in the past, yes, has attacked fans for criticizing Localizer, saying this is kind of a minor thing relative to the problem that MTL is inaccurate, but this kind of service is also just strictly worse than piracy. Even if you only consider the business side of things, this idea is still flawed. I mean, these individuals are basically melting down at this point. And again, I think it's funny. I can't really say I feel all that bad because they were not doing their job and now the dominoes are falling. They do not know what to do except take to their social media and whine and complain when really there aren't any people who are trying to defend them or particularly care about their complaining. So it will be interesting to see over the next coming days and weeks how many other localizers are voicing their opinions on this and how many are actually furious over this Japanese publisher's decision to use AI translations for light novels. And I don't think they're going to be alone. Back at the beginning of the year, we heard about, human AI hybrid for the Ancient Magus Bride simulpub, which kicked off a lot of meltdowns with localizers. And I do think that the same thing is going to happen here. A lot of those same people are going to be furious. And some of them already are. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation to see if anything else happens, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.